Welcome to Raw and Real Real Estate with your host, Marisol Ortiz. Here, we cut through the noise and have honest conversations about the housing market. Each episode brings you real insights, stories, and perspectives from inside the industry, so you can better understand what's really happening in real estate today. Welcome back to Raw and Real Real Estate. I'm your host, Marisol Ortiz, and today I am accompanied again by your co-host, Jesus Ortiz, and we are going to continue on to part 2 of our flipping adventures. In this episode, we're going to share whether we made any profit or we lost money in our flips, and also we're going to share any valuable advice that we think any first-time flipper should know. We'll talk about the lessons we learned, and we'll reveal whether we'd flip again or not. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. Don't forget, if you enjoy this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who's curious about flipping. Babe, thanks for joining me again.
Happy to be here.
And we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. I want to take you back to when we initially listed our properties. Do you remember how that went?
Yeah, so our first property actually went really well right away. We got it under contract about a week after it went on the market, right around October frame. But I remember the market was already sort of starting to slow down because the holidays were coming in. So the first contract fell through. The buyer wasn't really too confident in it, and things were starting to slow down, so that didn't work out. And after that, we started coming with people that were interested in the home. They would say, yeah, we want to buy it. They would be a little uneasy about the market situation, and they would back out. Anyway, we ended up having the home up until February, when we ultimately sold it for a little bit under what we initially had it on the market for. But I think it still went pretty well considering it was our first home.
And the second one, do you remember how everything went, how the showings went?
Yeah, the second one actually went a lot better. It was a combination of both the fact that we had the experience of the first home, and the fact that I was also more involved in the process, so that I could kind of sort of monitor everything that was fixed and address any issues or concerns that I had early. And so by the time that hit the market had already kind of stabilized as well, and the home itself was in a good area that had a lot of people interested, and that one sold a lot quicker than the first one.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, let me go ahead and just give you all my experience as a realtor in this transaction, because even though I was also the owner, I just, again, like I said, put my realtor hat on like I usually do. And one thing that I would really recommend you is to do professional photography on your homes. We did professional photography. The homes were vacant, but we were able to get them virtually staged, which helped a lot. I did decorate the homes a little bit, just, a few decorations on the counters more than anything, but virtual staging really made the renovations pop. And as you were saying, babe, the first home did take us months to sell, but the second one, we went hard and we just priced right, and we had it, I think, in the best condition possible before it went on the market, because whatever we learned from the first house, we applied it to the second one, as you mentioned. And I did an open house the very first weekend, and we got 3 offers, and we were able to choose a solid one that we were able to close. List price comparison on both, we got 100% of our list price on the second one, but on the first one we did not. We really did go through a series of price cuts. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you? Because you were really the one that was, even though I'm the realtor, you were the one that was really like reading all the national headlines and telling me, hey, I'm sensing something's coming.
Yeah, I mean, just having the finger on the pulse of the market and how it was shifting based on the national, right? Because El Paso, I would say, from what I read, is a very particular market that you have a better grasp on. But to add to that, I also had the concern of paying our friend, our contractor friend, right? Like we mentioned, he had gone through a lot of work and he hadn't received any sort of compensation for his time. So that was something in the back of my mind. And so every time I would ask, let's go ahead and do a price drop, it was for the concern of how the market is shifting nationally, as well as making sure that we are competitive and we can get this house out so that we can pay our friend, right? It was our first one, and I believe that, you know, I felt myself very responsible for the well-being of their profit margin, and so that he can get something for his work.
Yeah, and I think that those were good calls, because seeing what's happening in the market right now, it would have been terrible to still be on the market. It's rough out there as a seller. Did the numbers work out in our favor?
They did, both times. Both times we, thankfully, we did well. We didn't do as good as some people think that flipping houses would go, and definitely not as good as we had expected on that first one, or second one actually. But, you know, we did good.
And I refer to it as paid training,
That's right.
because we did learn a lot and we still walked away with a little bit of a profit.
You want to tell our viewers how much we made?
Do you want to tell our viewers how much we made?
So our first one actually went really well, all things considered, because the contractor got paid out roughly about $13,000, and we made $13,000. So that means that the property itself provided about a $26,000 profit that had to be spread out to the contractor and to us as investors or managers or whatnot. The second one went about the same.
Mm-hmm.
We got $13,000 almost for both. The only difference was who got the other $13,000, right? So that's the thing. It's, are you gonna, because for the first one it was $26,000 complete, like the profit margin was 26, but you still had to pay that labor, right? Whether that person is your friend, the contractor, or an actual contractor that you went out. So I think in general I thought that was pretty good, because like you said, it was a paid learning experience.
It was paid training.
So I got some advice for people out there. I got some advice that I feel like every single person out there should know, especially nowadays where we're finding ourselves a lot of more savvy investors and flippers and people that want to make money and have a little bit of spending money, that are trying to figure out how to make a little bit more money with all that savings, all that equity they have built up. And that is, if you're looking to flip a property as something to generate a little bit more wealth or money, make sure, if you have a stable job, a W-2 job, if you have a family, make sure you take into consideration that whatever you're thinking the time commitment is, it's going to be double that, maybe even triple that. That's number one. And number two, make sure to see the first project through from start to finish. Doesn't matter how well the first project is going, until you do not sell that house, don't bite off on getting the second one, even if it's going really well. See that through the whole way. Take a little bit of time, whether it be a week, a day, a month, to decompress and figure out how it went, where you could have done better, the mistakes you've made. Categorize all the people that you talked to and met, the contractors, if that's what you needed to do. Call more contractors, go on Facebook and ask for people to, if they know welders or whatever. Categorize all that information, put it in a binder, right? Sit down for a little while and really look back and see how it went. So that's my second one. And then third, really look at what is happening in the market now. Get yourself a good real estate agent, like the one I got sitting right across from me right here.
Yeah.
Definitely. They are such a good resources, right? The CMAs are amazing. The ease of buying and selling the process is great, right? And then don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions of them, and let them know exactly what you want, right? They're not there to trick you into stuff. They're there to help you meet your goals. So let them know why you want to buy a property. Tell them early that you want to flip it, because they can steer you away from those some initial mistakes that we've made. So yeah, those are the three things that I feel like our listeners should be made aware, because a lot of people nowadays I've found they're just people like us, normal people with families and stable jobs. They kind of want to do this on the side and maybe think this is a good little side hustle, and then they get surprised with some of these things. But yeah, other than that, yeah, they can. Any of you listeners out there can feel free to reach out, email, send us a message, and give us your questions. I'm happy to answer those questions. If you have any sort of other things that you're wondering about.
And my piece of advice would be to not buy from the MLS.
That's a great one.
We bought from the MLS because that was pretty much the only place where we saw opportunity. We did have somebody reach out to us and offer us, remember the property in the east side, Seawood?
Oh, that's right.
We did have somebody reach out to us, and she offered us her property, but and it was off market. This was just a straight deal from her to us, and we crunched the numbers. We had our contractor go. He broke our heart because he found so much damage that we hadn't seen, and so the numbers weren't going to work out for us, and they were not going to work out for her. So we were not able to solidify that deal. But we were so eager, we were so excited that we said, let's look on the MLS and let's, get these properties from there. And we did. But had we been able to purchase them off market, we would not have faced the competition that we faced. And so we would have probably been able to do our numbers a little bit better. So that's my piece of advice. Of course, if you're like us and you just want to get started and that's what is available to you, then I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all, but it's just something that I would change on the next one. And the other piece of advice that I have for you is solidify your team. Have trusted contractors that you can go to. And you could have 3 different electricians. You could have 3 different plumbers. And you might not get the same service from all of them. One of them might be quicker but charge more. One of them might be, vice versa, right? One of them might not be as quick, but maybe the pricing is better. So it just depends on what you need at the time and where. So just have a trusted team. And that actually includes your realtor too. I mean, here, thank God, there's so much trust from my client. But it's not always like that, right? You're not always married to your client. You're not always married to your realtor to dive into a journey like this. But make sure you form a solid team and that you trust all of the people that you're working with. Here is a follow-up to the question that I asked on part 1. I asked you in part 1, why flipping and what were you looking to get out of it? So you mentioned that you wanted to flip because you saw it as a fun experience, as a fun challenge.
Right.
What did you end up getting out of it?
Out of flipping?
Mm-hmm.
Because the house is sold and we were done. We don't have another one, so that's why I'm not doing it anymore. But long term, I guess. So I guess that answers also the question of are we gonna do this again, right? Are we thinking about flipping another house? And I wouldn't be against it if we follow all the advice that both of us mentioned here, right? Make sure we don't go through the MLS. I think that's a huge one. If we were able to create a system where we could bypass the MLS and go straight to the source, which is the person selling the house, I think the margin would be so much easier to work with than on the MLS where we have competition for the house. So stuff like that, I would definitely consider going back in. But as of now, I think with the family, having our baby girl, 6-month-old right now, full-time job, I don't think, even though 12,000 was a good chunk of money, or 13 was a good chunk of money. I mean, it took us 8 months on the first one and about 6 months on the last one. That's 24,000. If that were my full-time job, that'd be about 24,000 a year or so. Granted, I'd be spending a lot more time and a lot more hands-on with the repairs, so it'd be a little bit better. But at those margins, I don't think the stress on the family and is worth the squeeze. So that's why we're holding off. Well, at least that I know of, unless you want to do it again.
I mean, I don't know. Do you want to go again? We're kind of flirting with the idea again, but I don't think that we should unless it's probably a deal that falls on my lap, like a home that is being offered to me, like that other one that unfortunately we weren't able to solidify.
Yeah, I think we're very green on that, right? Because there's other ways to get houses. There's the courthouse. We can get when the bank closes on them? Foreclosures.
They auction them.
Yeah, right. We could do all those things. We could do the cold calling thing where you go through we'll just do a mail listing and cold. We're just so new with that we can't. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we'd have to work on that a little bit more. So back to the question that I had asked. What I asked you, what you got out of the house flipping, and for me, something that I got out of house flipping that I was not expecting was my more solid team of contractors that I can now use for my other deals. It's amazing because now I have such a good relationship with these contractors that when I call them and I tell them, hey, I need you to go give me a quote, or I need you to go get this repair done at this address for these clients, boom. I know that they're going to put me at the top of their list and they're going to do all they can to go out there. And not only that, but I get better pricing because they know that I will continuously be recommending their good work. And I did not realize that I would walk away from these flips with that benefit.
Right.
So that was just a little bit shocking to me. And personally, also, I have gotten a little bit better at figuring out how much a repair costs because of how much we've already paid. So before I would just kind of be like, "Ooh, so inexperienced," and I'd be like, "I don't know how much that's gonna run you. I think we need to bring a contractor in." And now I can give people, especially like for refrigerated air. Oh, it's probably on a house this big. You're probably gonna be looking at, I don't know, maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 grand on average. Obviously, yes, talk to a contractor, but ballpark estimate. Bigger house, I can kind of tell. Oh no, this is looking more like a $14,000-15,000. So I like that because it really helps me help my clients more.
Nice.
Okay, so if we don't flip in the future, what are we gonna do?
Boss, get doors now. Get
Rentals?
rentals. I think rentals are easier. I think rentals are easier. They require more capital in the beginning, but I think rentals are easier because you can just get it and then forget it a little bit, and then you get a call every once in a while.
Yeah, just make sure we get a good tenant in it,
Yeah.
like the ones we've had. Thank God.
And the tax incentives, or not the tax incentives, but the tax write-offs are pretty good. They're right now they're pretty good. With the 100% bonus depreciation, baby. Everybody out there, you listening to this? 100% bonus depreciation in all properties, right?
Yeah, gotta get more doors then.
I think that's the move. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if I leave this job, I'd be down for a couple more flips. I think it'd be alright.
Once you leave the job, but not right now.
Frescas, flips. Just never know what you're gonna get. Never know what you're gonna get.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
No. Fresca.
No, it's like a box at Fear Factor. When you like reach your hand in and you know if it's worms or snakes or whatever. It's just like, God damn.
You're bringing back the memories with that.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, so that's where we're going to leave it at today. You heard how our house flipping adventures went. You finally got to learn whether we walked away from these flips with a profit and all of the valuable lessons that we learned. We leave you with all these pieces of advice. And if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, share with a friend who's considering flipping houses.
And send us a message if you have any questions. We're free to answer those. That'd be pretty interesting to see what you guys have on your mind and what your struggles are.
Absolutely. Thanks again for listening to Raw and Real Real Estate. My name is Marisol Ortiz.
And Jesus Ortiz.
Until next time.